look at this question. The question says if 4x plus y is equal to 16, 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. The question asks us to not only find the value of y, s and y, but to find the difference after finding them. You understand now? That is, we have to find the coordinates x, y, and then after finding it, so we have to find the value of y minus x. Before I start, what is simultaneous linear equation? We all know, we are all aware of linear equation. When we say linear equation, so let's say I have something of this nature, s plus 1. This is an expression. So it's an expression in terms of x. I hope you understand now. So because your expression, and you can have it in terms of degree wise as well as term wise. Or before I start explaining that, this is an expression. We can say this expression graduate to an equation. In essence, expression is just a combination of constant and variable. I hope you understand now. So, but if I have equals to 3 now, so then this expression has graduated to an equation. So when you have an equality sign and you have another expression, on the two side, maybe you have one on the left hand side and the other on the right hand side, then you have an equation. So then you can categorize your equation degree wise as well as term wise. What do I mean by degree wise? Degree wise, when we say degree of an expression or an equation is the highest power to which that equation is raised. For example, now our x here is unknown. The highest power to which s is raised here is 1. Then we can say s is having, s is this expression or equation is of degree 1. If I have something of this nature, x squared plus 3x, this is an expression, but the highest degree to which this expression is raised is what? Is 2. You understand now? Then we say this expression is what? Is an expression of degree 2. Although this guy can also graduate to an equation, then you say it's an equation of degree 2. You can have degree 3, degree 4. So if you want to know degree of a particular equation, just check the highest power to which that equation or expression is raised. In essence, if I have s raised to power 5 is equal to 1, then you can say this is an equation of degree what? Of degree 5. I hope you understand now. So when you now have equation of degree 1, we call it linear equation. This is an equation is having degree 1, we call it what? Linear equation. It's said to be linear. When you have equation of degree 2, it is what? It is called quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. So if it's an expression, it will be quadratic expression. If you have an equation of degree 3, we call it what? Cubic equation. I hope you understand now. If it is 4, we have quartic. So more than 4, you can say equation of degree 5, equation of degree 6, and so on. And what I want to inform you also is that when you have equation of a particular degree, then you are going to have that root. What I'm trying to say now is that if you have equation of degree n, then you are going to have n root. What do I mean by equation of degree n? That is when the highest degree to which that particular equation is raised is what? Is n. Then you are going to have n root. Root is what? The value that satisfies that particular equation, such that when you equate it, for example, now this s plus 1 now, the root of this equation is what? Is 2. Because the value of x that will make this equation to be true. I hope you understand now. So that is that. So equation of degree n, we also have n roots. That's why when you are solving quadratic equation, you used to get 2 roots. That is 2 value that satisfy that equation. That is that for degree wise. What of term wise? Because I want you to understand that before I actually start. Term wise, if I have s plus 3 plus y, you understand now. So when you have a variable or a constant, Immediately you now have a sign, whether addition or subtraction sign, then what you have after it will be another term. In essence, this is a term, this is first term, this is another term because I have addition after it. So this is another term. So if I have minus z now, this is another term. It means for this kind of expression, we can say it's an expression of term 4 or an expression having 4 terms. So, and if you now have one term expression, we call it monomial term. You understand now? Or you call it what? A monomial expression. So monomial expression, sorry, let's call it monomial expression. So what if I have something like this? This expression is having how many what? How many terms? 2 terms. So a 2-term expression is known as binomial expression. Is known as binomial expression. When you have 3-term expression, you know, this is having how many terms? That's 3 times 1, 2, 3. Then we call it what? Trinomial expression. I hope you understand now. So, and when you have what? When you have 4 or more than 4, I hope you understand now. So, you can have what we call what? Polynomial. So you can have what we call polynomial. But this way I'm going, now I have 4x plus 2y is equal to 16, and 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. So we know that this is what? This is a linear equation because it's an equation of degree 1. But instead of one variable, this is a variable, s is a variable now because it's unchanged. Constant is a number. So here 4, 2, 6, minus 2 are constant. Even 16 and 4, they are constant. So, but now we have 2 variables and we are to find this, the value of these 2 variables x and y concurrently. We have to find it together. When you now have that type of equation, so whereby you ask to find the value of unknowns, so concurrently, then we have what? We call it simultaneous equation. So in that sense, so this simultaneous equation in 2 variables, and when you have a simultaneous equation, before you can get, a unique solution for them, then you have to have 2 equation as well. I hope you understand. Now, when you have 2 variables, you have to have 2 equations. When you have 3 variables, you have to have what? 3 equation as well. Okay, now do you now solve this? There are different methods you can devise. So number 1 is what? Your so-called elimination method. You have elimination method. We have substitution method. And we have graphical method. All these methods are not difficult. So for elimination method, that is to eliminate. I hope you understand now. That is, you eliminate, since we are interested in finding the values of 2 variables, eliminate one to know the other. You understand now? Then immediately you know one, so then you use that to find another one. I hope you understand now. But substitution is that make one the subject of the formula, substitute it into another equation, and what? And simplify it further. Okay, now let's say I have something of this nature now. If I want to use elimination method, before you can use elimination method, first of all decide on which variable you want to eliminate. Is it S? Is it Y? But when you are doing your exam, I think first thing to check is if, or before I proceed, and before you can eliminate that particular variable, you know I said you have to decide on which variable you want to eliminate. Before you can eliminate that variable, you must ensure that the coefficient of the variable in the 2 equation you were given are the same. What do I mean by coefficient? Coefficient are are the numbers that multiply the unknowns. For example, now the coefficient of x here is 4 because it is 4 that multiply x. The coefficient of y here is 2. The coefficient of y here is minus 2 because minus 2 multiply y. I hope you understand that. Can you tell me the coefficient of x here? That is 6. I hope you understand. So now, before you can eliminate a variable, you have to ensure they are what? So their coefficient is equal. Suppose I want to eliminate s now, then I must have the same coefficient here. If I want to eliminate y, then I must have the same coefficient. So, and what you have to look up is that if you are solving this kind of equation and you just check, okay, now is my coefficient equal in any of the unknowns? If your coefficient are equal in any of the unknowns, then you don't even need to make them equal again. Just try and use your elimination method directly. For example, now if you check the coefficient of y now, then it is very easy for you because the coefficient are equal. I hope you understand now. Then you now think of what you can do to make the coefficient to be equal. I hope you understand. So to get rid of the a variable, here we have 4s plus 2y is equal to 16, 6s minus 2y is equal to 14. Then now think, are you going to add this equation together or subtract this equation together before you can get rid of y? Because you want to get rid of y, and the principle is that before you can get rid of y, the coefficient must be equal. God so good, their coefficient, y has the same coefficient in the two equations. So what are you now going to do to get rid of it? Are you going to add or subtract? Think of it. Are you going to add? If you add, that will be 2 plus minus 2. That is what? That will give you 0. But if you subtract, you are not going to have 0. That will be 2 minus 2, which will give you 4. I hope you understand. It means we are going to add. You can now say, maybe I call this equation 1, I call this equation 2. Add 1 and 2. Then you now be adding them together. The first time here with the first time here, 4s plus 6s will give you 10x, 2y plus minus 2y. So that is 0. And another thing is that even if you don't know whether you are going to add or subtract, if the sign are not the same, you add. If the sign are the same, you subtract. You understand? Because they are the same thing. But if the sign are not the same and you now have the same coefficient, then you can subtract. So that's why, the sign are not the same. Yeah, this one is having positive, this one is having negative. Then we are going to add. Then this will give you 0. Then 16 plus 4. Then I'm going to have 20. Then your x will now be what? 20 divided by 10, which is equal to 2. Now, since you know that, you now say put s equal to 2 in equation what? In equation 1 or any of your equation. So, and don't forget your equation 1 says 4x plus 2y is equal to 16. And I know that my s is what? My s is 2. If you now substitute the value of 2 there, then I'm going to have 4 times 2 plus 2y is equal to 16. That is 8 plus 2y is equal to 16. 2y is equal to 16 minus 8. 2y is equal to 8, which implies your y is equal to what? 8 over 2, which is 4. Then you can now say, therefore, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 4. But the question asks us to find what? Y minus s. You understand? Now, if you check the question has to find y minus s. And what is my y? 4 minus 2. So 4 minus 2. What is 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2 will give me 2. Can you see that now? So, yeah, that is that. But you have to remind me of something. I was saying you have to ensure that your coefficients are equal before you eliminate. Okay, now let's say we were just given this and their coefficients are not equal. 4x plus 2y is equal to 16, and you have 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. Let's say now I want to eliminate x. It is also possible. What you can do before you eliminate a variable, don't forget, you have to ensure that their coefficients are equal. Now the coefficient of 4 here, s here is 4. The coefficient of s here is 6. How do I make them equal? It is not difficult. It's just like maybe you are having rice, I'm having beans, and we were told that we must be able to eat the same food. I hope you understand now. So before you can eat the same food, before both of us can eat the same food, then I must give you rice. One of the ways to do that is that I give you my small of my rice and you give me small of your beans. Then we both eat rice and beans together. So then what you can do here is to just say, so, okay, sorry, my pen is misbehaving. So what you can do here is just to say multiply this by 6 and multiply this by 4. And even if you don't want to stress yourself, this is even all are multiples of 2. You can divide through by 2. If you divide through by 2, you know this will give you 2x plus y is equal to what? Is equal to 8. And this will give me what? 3x minus y is equal to 2. Let's say if I reduce, you can reduce it to that. Just think of any way you can do so that it will make your way, you are going to have a kind of shortcut. Can you see now? If I want to eliminate y now, it is trivial because they have the same coefficient. But I want to teach you how you can eliminate, if the coefficient are not equal. So you understand now. Okay, now I have rice, you have beans. How do we eat rice and beans together? You give me small rice, I give you small beans. Then you multiply this by 3, you multiply this by 2. Then if you multiply them together, I'm going to have 6x plus 3y is equal to 24. 6x minus 2y is equal to 4. Then if you subtract, oh sorry, before I even say before you subtract, you can see now that their coefficients are equal. You understand now, C6. Then how are you going to eliminate it? Are you going to add or subtract? Don't forget, if their sign are equal, you subtract. If they have different sign, you add. It means I'm going to subtract here. If you now subtract this guy from each other, then 6x minus 6x, that is 0. 3y minus 2y, that is 3y. The product or quotient of 2 likes times give you positive. Minus times minus is plus. 3y plus 2y will give me 5y is equal to 24 minus 4, that is 20. Then you have y is equal to 20 divided by 5, which is equal to 4. And you can just say put y is equal to 4 in equation 1 or any of your equation. And don't forget equation 1 says 2x plus y is equal to 8. You understand now? So then your y, put it to before, you have 2x plus y is equal to 8. So that will give you 2x equal to 8 minus 4. 2x equal to 4. Is equal to 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 2. Can you see this the same? So y is equal to 4. That's elimination method. Before you use elimination method, just ensure that their coefficients are equal. If you ensure that their coefficients are equal, then you cannot just eliminate. And before you eliminate, check is the sign of the coefficient in the two equations are equal. If they are equal, you subtract. If they have different signs or alternate sign, you what? You add. Okay, now let me quickly brush up substitution method for you as well. Because maybe if I have this equation now, 2x plus y is equal to 8. That's what we reduce it to. And the second one is 3x minus y. If you use any of the method, you are going to arrive at the same answer. 3x minus y is equal to 2. What are you going to do if you want to use substitution method? Because substitution method means make one of the, a variable the subject of the formula and substitute. Maybe I can just say from equation 1 or equation 2, anyhow. So from equation 1, I have 2x plus y is equal to 8. Then make y the subject of the formula, or make s the subject of the formula, anyone you like. If I make y the subject of the formula, y will now be what? 8 minus 2x. You understand now? If your y is equal to 8 minus 2s, you can call this equation 3. You now say put or substitute y is equal to 8 minus 2s in equation 2. You know you've used equation 1, then you now substitute it in equation 2. If you make equation 2 the subject of the formula, it means you have to substitute it to equation 1. Then if you substitute it in equation 2, you have 3x minus y is equal to 2. Don't forget your y is what? 8 minus 2x. But you have to be careful in mathematics. When you have negative and what follows negative is more than one term, that is, what follows negative is not a monomial expression, then you have to enclose within bracket, because that negative sign will affect it. You understand now? So if you just say minus 8 minus 2s without putting it in bracket, then you are wrong. You are going to make a mistake. Okay, let's say you write it like this: 3s minus 8 minus 2s equal to 2. Okay, let's do this one. You will see that you are wrong, because this will now give me 3x minus 8 plus 2s equal to 2. Can you see they are not equal? You've made a mistake here. So in any case, when you have negative and what follows it is more than a term, you have to enclose within bracket, please. So then 3x, if you collect the like term, this will give me what? 5x equal to 2. You bring this guy here plus 8. Then you have what? 5x equal to 10, which implies s is equal to 10 over 5. That is 2. From here, you can just say put s is equal to 2 in equation 3. So in equation 3, I have y is equal to 8 minus 2s. Substitute the value of s now. I have y is equal to 8 minus 2 into 2. Y is equal to 8 minus 2 times 2, that is 4, which is 4. You see, s is equal to 2, y is equal to 4. But you have to be careful. You will have to find y minus x. That will give you 4 minus. You know, I use all the method and I arrive at the same answer. So if you come across, what do you call it, simultaneous equation in the exam like this, so this is how you are going to approach it. This is how you are going to approach it. Okay, now